and welcome to Inside Your County Government, a podcast that brings you an inside look at the people, places, and events in and around county government that shape our Charles County. I'm your host, Brent Huber. This episode is part of our Boards and Commissions series. Boards and Commissions play a crucial role in shaping our community, and over this series, we'll be exploring what they do, why they're important, and how you can get involved. Today, we are thrilled to have with us Matthew Darden, the chair of the Board of License Commissioners, or as we call it, the Liquor Board. And we're going to talk about what the board is and what it does. Matthew, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about you first. What's your background? How did you get involved with the Liquor Board?
So coincidentally enough, I think the Liquor Board was one of two boards that I applied to. I think the first that I applied to was the Veterans Board when it was initially brought to fruition.
Right.
I was called in for the interview for the Liquor Board, and I chose to sit on this board. So I've been on the board since July of 2019.
Oh, wow. So what does the Liquor Board do? Because I think there's a lot of confusion maybe in the public about some of the things it's responsible for and not responsible for. So let's hear it. What does it do?
So the Liquor Board, or Board of License Commissioners, is the governing body or the administrative bodies that handles all liquor licenses within Charles County. So any liquor license issues, any new licenses, any licenses that are going to be turned over, they have to come before us before they're able to operate and sell alcohol within the county.
Right, and there's a finite amount of liquor license in the county. You just can't come in and get a liquor license, right?
So yes and no.
Yes and no?
The limit is strictly for on sale, off sale, on sale versus off sale, as well as, primarily on sale and off sale. Liquor stores and restaurants, there's not really a quota. It's just a matter of if you want to have a liquor store and a bar within that establishment.
And when you say on sale, off sale, what exactly does that mean?
So on sale versus off sale, it just depends on how you operate. So if you are operating as you're just selling, or you're a liquor store and you're selling packaged goods, so someone comes in, they buy a spirit and then they leave. That's off sale or on sale. That's off sale. So they come in, they buy it, and they leave. On sale is if you're operating as a liquor store and a bar.
Got it.
So they are able to purchase their liquor, they're able to drink liquor there as well.
Okay.
So that's the difference between on sale and off sale.
But the liquor laws do extend to not just to stores and places that sell liquor, but to events, because you do a lot of it like event permits, right?
It does. Any establishment or any event that wants to have alcohol, they have to come and see us. Depending on the size and where it is and who's hosting it, then yes, they have to come before us to get a liquor license to be able to sell and serve alcohol. I think where sometimes there is a bit of confusion is if it is like a distillery or if it is a large vendor. They have what we call state licenses. So a lot of times they may not come before us, but they have to come. They are supposed to come before us and let us know, hey, we're hosting this event. We're going to use one of our state licenses, and we just want to have the authority to, not really authority because we don't give them authority per se, but it's just kind of a courtesy to say we're going to be here and we're going to use a state license. But the individual that is actually hosting the event has to come before us and get an actual license.
And that's for events that are open to the public.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So, but you said something interesting about the state. A lot of the liquor laws that you enforce and that you work through and with, they come down from the state, right?
Yes. The majority of our laws are sent down by the state. There are some within that are jurisdictional that only apply to Charles County. And then as a board, we have our own rules and regulations as well. Some of them are based on state legislature and state statutes, and then some of them are rules that we created for things that we specifically see within the county or that we deal with within the county.
Right. So some come down from the state, and you have to enforce them.
Yes.
And then some are county regulations
Yes.
that are then applied in addition to the state.
Correct.
Got it. So why is the liquor board? Why is it important to the public?
I mean, outside of being able to get a drink from somewhere, it's important mostly because of the economic impact that it has. While a lot of these liquor stores or liquor establishments are what we call mom and pop shops, they're family run, family owned, have been in the county for a number of years. And then you have some larger operations that may have not have been around as long. So it's people's livelihoods. And it does, generate revenue for the county as well. But, that's, I guess, my take on it.
Okay. But one of the other things that the liquor board kind of oversees and does is the sale to minors, right?
Correct.
That's kind of a big deal.
It is. You want to ensure that liquor or alcohol in general is being sold to the proper person. We've all been teenagers and under the age of 21 and tried to do it and tried to get to it. But as a alcohol establishment, it is your duty to ensure that you're not doing that, and ensuring that alcohol is being sold to the correct individuals. And should you, do that, you may get away with it once, but when you are caught, you do have to come before us because you took an oath and you swore that you would uphold the laws of the state of Maryland as well as the laws that were set forth by Charles County as well.
So I've been watching the liquor board for a while. I mean, when I first started at Charles County government many years ago, it was one of my jobs to get the liquor board to air, and it's one of our most watched meetings. But there's a distinct order as to how things kind of happen. Where can you talk a little bit about how that meeting progresses from the events to the license transfers, and then we hear this term show cause, and I think this might be a good place to kind of bring in what all that means.
Okay. So typically the order of how the agenda is set, to me, I think is just based on time. So the temporaries don't necessarily take a lot of time. It just depends on how many temporaries they're asking for, the length of the event, the size of the event, and then if they have everything that they need to have before they come before us.
And those would be the ones for the kind of one-off
Yep.
events, wine festival or something like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those are temporaries. And then we move into any transfers. So for the transfers or new establishments, those are kind of routine as well, depending on if, all of the licensees' ducks are in a row. If they have submitted everything and everything has been approved. But typically with those, it's either there's transfers where someone may be coming off the license or a new person may be being added to the license, and then there's new, where there's a new establishment, a new restaurant, a new liquor store that is being stood up in the area. And then, we move into the show cause hearings. Show cause hearings are typically hearings for any type of violations, whether that's selling to an authorized underage person, whether that's a violation for not having a manager on site. Typically, those are where we see those violations and those things.
Because you work with the sheriff's department and alcohol enforcement too.
Yes.
I mean, they have underage persons that they authorize to go in and test the establishment, right?
They do.
Yeah.
So, and I think the tricky thing with that is it's not, they're not going into an establishment and trying to trick them into selling them alcohol. More often than not, all of the time, when we see an AUP, is typically someone that the sheriff's office has been provided or that they have on staff, and that particular individual is actually using their ID. It's not a trick ID. It's not. It's their ID with their name, their date of birth. So if you sold to that individual, knowing, if they provided you with an ID, knowing that person was underage. So
And in our state, it's pretty easy. It's either this way or this way.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest challenges that face your board?
One of the biggest challenges I think that we face is when it comes to alcohol sales is being able to identify who's doing it correctly. Well, we were able to identify who's doing it correctly, but being able to identify, individuals that are not necessarily doing everything the correct way. Enforcement is a big deal for us. And with the size of the alcohol enforcement team, we may not hit every establishment every month. So there's a percentage. So I would just say, see something, say something. If there's something that you notice that isn't right, notify someone and bring that to someone's attention. And that's not to say that you need to go in someone's establishment and try and pick them apart.
Right.
But if you know that this person is underage and they're selling to someone that's underage, let someone know. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is just identifying, where some of the shortfalls are, and then adjusting to new rules and regulations as they come. And making sure that it's not hard for liquor establishments to get their liquor license, as well as identifying where we may fall short with enforcement or providing a necessary service to the community.
Right. Because it's a big deal, and it's I've kind of seen over the years, there's a lot of steps involved for somebody to get a liquor license.
It is.
And they have to have somebody here,
Yes.
right, that lives in the county on that license, right?
They do.
Yeah, because I remember seeing, well-established restaurants come in, and that's the bulk of what the transfers probably are, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to be in the county to be on the license, and they're a corporate restaurant. They got to work through that.
Yep. A lot of it is transferring of corporate officers, where there is bringing someone in that's new to the area, or someone just leaving corporate as well. But you do have to have a resident licensee, which is someone that actually resides in the county. That's not to say that they have to be, an employee per se, but you do have to have someone that is local to the county, that is on that license.
And ultimately responsible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone that's on the license is responsible, but we do kind of look at who's local
Right.
versus who's not local, but that doesn't mean that we weigh them differently. But yeah,
So if somebody out there is interested in the liquor board, or for that matter, any board, how do they get involved?
So to get involved, we do have a vacancy for District 2, I believe. If you want to be involved and you're thinking about serving, go to the charlescounty.gov website and submit your application. Whoever the commissioners decide to pull, they'll do an interview. You'll speak to the board, to the commissioners rather, and then they'll make a determination on who they're going to sit on the board. We are a board of 5, 4 voting members and a chair. The chair, which is myself currently, only votes if there's not a quorum, but the 4 other board members are the voting members when we have quorum, and then we serve 4-year terms. You can serve 2 consecutive 4-year terms, and then you rotate off of the board if you choose to stay on the board that long.
Right. So one last question.
Yes, sir.
What's been your most rewarding experience with this?
I think the most rewarding thing for me is just to see the change economically within the county. When you look at restaurants that have came, restaurants that have left, and just the overall landscape of businesses within the county. I've been in Charles County since 2016, and there have been a plethora of restaurants that have come, restaurants that have stayed, and restaurants that have left. But just to see restaurants come and thrive and be able to offer something different within the county, I think is a rewarding thing for me. And to be able to say, yes, you're eligible and qualified to be able to serve liquor within this county, I think is rewarding for me.
Very good. Yeah, you kind of get the sneak peek, and you see how everything kind of works, and as they come in, and then have that opportunity to watch them grow. Yeah.
You get to see the restaurants and the menus before they do their soft openings and pique your interest to say, hey, I want to try.
Yeah.
So yes, it's good.
That comes with advantages.
It does.
Oh, awesome. Very good. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. It has been absolutely wonderful learning about the liquor board. It's a fascinating thing. If you have the opportunity to watch, it is the second Thursday of every month, live from the commissioners' meeting room at 10 a.m.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Remember, local government is the strongest when we all participate. So until next time, stay engaged and stay connected. Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast and want to hear more, search Charles County Government on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to like and subscribe. We're also available on YouTube, search Charles County Commissioners. And stay connected for all county news, information, and programs by visiting www.charlescountymd.gov/stay connected.